I know you talk a lot about sustainability. I'm passionate about sustainability. I mean, I feel like partially that's why I feel like I want to be rooted even more, because that's sustainability. Like, the 100-mile theory.
Yes.
Yeah. I want the 100-mile theory.
Very nice.
I want the 100-mile.
So you've thought about this, Munera, like very, very deeply. Like this isn't like, this isn't just a career for you. This is really like kind of who you are.
I mean, yeah, hopefully, yeah, but yeah.
I think that was what really inspired me to ask you to join us on the podcast, because I really do like interviewing people who are very serious and very loyal to not only their careers, but to their, their paths of knowledge seeking, and the way that they really love to acquire experiences, the way they share those experiences with others. And I was like genuinely touched. Like I've eaten at many Saudi restaurants, and you work for a Saudi, culinary establishment that's operated by the Ministry of Culture called Irth. And Munera, what we want to know is, we talked a little bit about portion sizes, which you can see I'm not an enemy of. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting you on the portion sizes, right? But what I want to know is, when it comes to Saudi cuisine, what does it mean to you?
Honestly, Saudi cuisine is my home. When I lived abroad, that was the place that kept me grounded. I mean,
where did you live, Munera?
I lived and studied actually culinary in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied law in King Saud University. I worked in law, and then I was like, okay, bye. And then we moved to Canada, me and my husband, and I studied culinary, worked there. Yeah.
And so while you were there, you fell in love with your culture's kitchen, or it was like you were homesick, you were looking for a Jirish outlet? Or
I've always loved my culture, honestly, like because I worked in law, so where the courts are.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know it's a trendy place now, but it didn't used to. So I have a lot of antiques from that place when I used to work in law.
Okay.
When I moved abroad, it connected me more. It connected me more because, like Saudi, as I mentioned, Saudi food or Saudi cuisine is home. And then I realized how comforting, and as we mentioned earlier about the food portion, but the food portion is generosity. It shows us how we always cook for everyone. We never cook for one. It took me a long time. Learning to cook for two took me a long time, because I'm always like, it's 4 or 6 or 8. No, what do you mean I have to keep this for tomorrow? Someone else should eat it now, right now. So yeah, I've always loved my culture, but then I realized that through food, I could love it even deeper. I could love it like it's multi-layered.
But Munera, were you cooking? I mean, I guess we all cook, right? Like, even when I was in college, I cooked not well. I mean, like, I did my best. But when were you already kind of pursuing a culinary kind of exploration? I mean, it wasn't really, if you studied at the same time I studied in the mid 2000s, which I'm thinking, right? It wasn't really like a hustling and bustling thing in Saudi Arabia to study culinary arts. But so were you like, I know you went to go study law, but were you already cooking as a hobby, or were you cooking as an individual, being a part of your family? Like, was that like kind of the family thing that you were doing, or you were really pursuing it as an interest? As an interest. My mom is a really good cook, but she's gonna hate me for this, but she's a feminist, like this mom. So she didn't think it was okay to force girls to learn how to cook. To cook, yes. Yeah. So she never taught us anything. We know how to cook like eggs and stuff, but not the way she cooks, not jarish, not warq inab, and yes.
the heavy duty. Yes. I knew how to rule warq inab, but
the grape leaves, stuffed grape leaves,
I didn't know how to do a jarish, for example. But I love cooking. I've always, especially baking. I love
Since you were very young.
I mean, yeah. Since I've loved bread since I was young.
Okay.
I love
baking.
bread.
Okay.
No. Bread. Eating bread.
Okay.
I loved eating bread since I was young. But then I wanted to make my own.
Bread. Okay.
Yeah, in like high school, nothing came from it because I was, college and then working and all that stuff. And then when I moved, when I went to Canada, actually, I wanted to pursue law.
Okay.
And then I changed my mind. I was like, I actually don't want this. I mean, here's the thing about moving abroad. It gives you clarity, honestly. No pressure, no nothing. I was like, oh,
this is really what I want to do.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I have a supportive family. So I just called them and I was like, it's not going to happen. They're like, okay.
I'm just going to cook.
Yeah, I'm just going to cook. They were like, okay.
So I'm assuming that Saudi cuisine kind of meant to you like a taste of home. You were separated. Canada's very cold. Saudi is the exact opposite of Canada in many ways. I mean, environmentally speaking, climate-wise. And so I could imagine how much comfort making Saudi food would have been for you while you were in Canada. And Canada can be kind of quiet, right? Like going to school is quiet, being in class is quiet, and then you probably miss all the noises.
I do.
So it's not just the taste, it's like the sounds, it's the smells, it's the relationships, all that could be conjured through a Saudi cuisine, essentially. But what made you make it into a career? Like, why did you decide to pursue it? Okay, I might become interested in something, it might become my hobby, but why did you decide to work in the culinary field as a chef?
Surprisingly, I don't know. It's just like I knew I didn't want to do law, and I love two things. I love plants and I love cooking.
Great.
And I was contemplating whether to study agriculture or culinary. But I thought, I don't know, it could be wrong, but I was like, I love cooking. I really love cooking. And I thought I could learn in Canada something that could be beneficial to me in Saudi.
Very good. And I love that you said that you don't know, because a lot of people try to come up with like, it was XYZ complicated philosophical reason. And you so confidently said, I don't know. So that really makes me feel like it's okay to pursue something, even though you don't really know why you're pursuing it. It's just something that speaks to you.
Exactly. This is what I always tell people. I know it's off topic, but I feel like people are always focused on planning ahead, but they don't realize how much they miss when they go with the flow.
So you're not only a good cook, but you're also very wise, Munera.
No, honestly, like when I first came to Saudi, I was like, I'm not going to work in a restaurant. But then this opportunity came. I was like, am I stupid not to take this opportunity?
No, and I mean, you're doing a very, very good job. I mean, I can attest. I was there and I tried everything, and I wasn't planning on meeting you when I went there. I was invited to really just kind of, have the experience. And then I really wanted to know the story behind all this fantastic stuff I was eating. And I'm a vegetarian, so not many Saudi dishes speak to me.
Oh.
But when you made the vegetarian tinman and you made the vegetarian dishes, the salads, the drinks, I was like, wow, I mean, it is versatile.
It is.
It's dynamic. It's not just like, it's either margou with lamb or stay hungry. It doesn't have to be that way.
No.
I mean, you had a very lasting impact on my vision of Saudi food. It helped me as we re-investigate what Saudi cuisine really is.
You'll be surprised.
So you, Munera, have been known for reinventing traditional dishes. And what we want to know is, what does that look like in practice? Tell me. When you're planning your next dish or you're planning your next debut of a new dish, what does that look like? Are you like dreaming? Are you in the kitchen? Do you have like a pencil behind your ear? Is it like constantly tasting different things? What is it like?
Honestly, it starts dreaming. Like I live in my mind. I live in my dreams. I I like to imagine flavors before executing them. So, and I'm not big on presentation, honestly. Like I try to leave presentation for other people, but I like presenting the whole table. But the like plating, I mean, I stop there. That's the flavors start in my brain. Like what should go there, and then yeah, like the miswak, it goes like, okay, it's a miswak, and then when I knew how to extract the flavor, I was like, okay, now imagine the flavors. So I did like maybe 4 or 5 combinations, and I kept trying and testing and forcing everyone around me to try and test. Okay, after like maybe the 5th or 6th trial, that's it.
So many people who are watching us or listening to us might not be familiar with the miswak story. So I want to tell you the way I know it, and then please feel free to tell it the way it actually is.
Okay.
So you invented a drink. It's essentially like a cherry-based drink with miswak flavoring. So it's like a cherry and miswak, of course, the toothbrush tree root or the soft branches.
Yeah.
And you made a drink out of something that everyone uses for brushing their teeth, and you made that into some sort of drink.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like, why did that happen with you?
So when Galat, when they called me about coming up with something summary, memories, all this stuff, I was trying to find a flavor that came from memory, that, like came from a place of comfort, memory, familiarity, all this stuff. So I don't know how. I know, honestly, I know how, but how did I think of miswak? That I was going through Haraj, Haraj?
Yes.
The website?
Yes.
Yeah. So I realized that arak, the plant, has, obviously, it has fruit.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Not many people do, yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking in Haraj, I was looking for someone to sell it in Riyadh, and I couldn't find anyone, but the flavor did not. Imagining the flavor, as I said, I live in my brain, so I kept imagining what would it taste like? And I was like, yeah, it's going to taste like miswak. I'm like, oh. And then it's a snowball. I was like,
and so there was like, cherries are fruits and miswak is could be a flavoring agent, and then boom.
Yeah.
So this is your kind of artistic interpretation of what you imagined the miswak fruit, the arak plant's fruit tasting like.
I still haven't tried it yet. I'm going to be surprised.
And from what I understand, the fruit is very small, and it's actually like not attractive to humans. It's more.
Is it?
It's more for like birds are more attracted to the fruit. Like, some plants, they produce very, very small fruit, from what I understand. I haven't studied.
I saw a lot of people in the southern region eat it. So I was like, okay, it must be good.
I'm sure if they're eating it, that must be delicious.
It must be good.
And so when you invented this drink, what was people's reaction like? Because miswak is also kind of like, it has like a high religious connotation. Do you know what I'm saying? And when people are using it, they might be fasting. They might be like in some sort of spiritual mindset. A lot of people use it while they're contemplating. And so you offering it as a refreshment, how did people react to that?
So many people loved it. So many people loved it. And the commentary was honestly hilarious. Someone said that, what is it called? Moya magri fiha.
The water they pray into.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So it was like, I feel like I'm drinking that. Someone was like, I feel like I'm kissing my father's head.
Very nice.
Someone was like, oh, it tastes like Friday. So it was funny. It was
tastes like Friday. Yes, that's
really
great.
Funny. Yeah.
Very, very cool. And so, do you have any other interesting combinations that you made besides the miswak and the cherry?
I try to come up, like I usually work on an ingredient level. This is how. I don't try to innovate dishes. Doesn't speak to me. So I always try to work on an ingredient level. I love working with forgetting ingredients. And I've been obsessed for a while with samh. I did pasta with samh. I did
samh is type of plant as well.
Yeah. And I did tempura. I did desserts. But I obsessed over salmon for a while. So I do this.
Salmon, which is the ghee.
Yeah.
The liquefied butter.
Yeah. So, there's a market in Adira that they sell salmon baladi.
Okay.
So I kept going and trying and trying. He was like, this is from Duadmi, this is from Rania, this is from... Okay.
You kept on trying.
I kept on trying. It's really good.
So you have to be kind of like very open-minded, kind of, because other people would be like, I'm not really going to try something that wasn't made in a factory, that wasn't like refrigerated correctly, or that wasn't stored correctly. And
I know. So many people are missing out on a lot when they do this.
I completely agree with you. So there is a sense of orthodoxy when it comes to food. A lot of people will say, for instance, kebsa, it must have either chicken or lamb, maybe fish, maybe camel meat, maybe the truffles, faget.
Yeah.
And it must have dried limes. It must have XYZ ingredients, or else it's not kebsa anymore. For instance, some people will say, for instance, ruz bukhari must have raisins, must have carrots, must have peppercorn. What are they called? You're the chef.
Peppercorn?
What are they called? The small black pepper?
Pepper?
Yeah.
Black pepper?
The black pepper.
Okay,
but they call it
yeah.
peppercorn, I think. Anyway. So some people would say that, certain dishes they must have a certain type of presentation, and they must have a specific list of ingredients, or else this dish cannot be called by this name. And in fact, many countries have built this methodology into their legal systems.
Okay.
Like there's for instance, the idea of milk. A lot of companies, they used to call their plant-based milks milk, like dairy milk.
Yeah.
And then people got angry. How can you call something that's made out of soybeans milk?
Okay.
So you have to call this now like a soy-based drink or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people have taken this even to the next level. They're taking this to a governance level. How do you feel about food orthodoxy? Since you're kind of an innovative chef, you like to mix and match. You've made some zombie creations.
Okay. That's a really good question, because I feel like I agree kind of with people that things have name for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't make something a less of a dish or an ingredient because it doesn't have that name. Mm-hmm. So just name it. I mean, I don't want, when I go to buy, for example, meat, mm-hmm. I want to know if it's, say I'm a vegan. Mm-hmm. I want to know quickly if it's imitation or real meat. Mm-hmm. So I kind of agree. Like, if I'm going to buy, if I go to a restaurant and it has a menu, but no pictures, mm-hmm. and I wanted Bukhari.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I should get something with carrots.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I mean, but where does it stop?
Exactly. This is what I want to know from your perspective, though. Do you know what I'm saying? I think generally, we all are kind of like that. Yeah. If I go to a fast food restaurant and I want a double burger with blah, blah, I know that's what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, when it comes to authentic, traditional Saudi dishes, and you remember, you were a chef. And I don't know how you could forget, really. But, you're a chef. And when you are innovating and when you're creating a new approach or a new take on these dishes, how do you do it without losing the core identity of the dish? So do you identify, for instance, the main ingredients that are not negotiable? Like this medfoon, which is a type of rice dish in Saudi Arabia, must have, lamb, and it must have rice, and it must be cooked in underground, or else we're not going to call it medfoon, for instance. Yeah. What is your opinion on those labels? And do you think there's room for negotiating?
Definitely. I feel like, it depends on how people define it. Like, I feel like it's unspoken what people call medfoon, what people call bukhari, what people call kebsa. So if you might, like, for example, if you make kebsa without the spices, it's not kebsa. It's just rice.
Okay.
I mean, for me, Bukhari is raisin and carrots, especially carrots. If it doesn't have carrots, then
it's not Bukhari anymore.
It's not Bukhari. I mean, it's okay. It's delicious. It's rice, but it's not Bukhari.
Yes.
But I don't know.
But when it comes to you innovating them, now you're going to put in your special twist on these dishes, and you're going to present them to people, and you are a kind of a cultural ambassador for those very authentic, legitimate dishes. How do you add the Munera aspect of these dishes? If you're not able to make any additions or you're not able to make any subtractions.
No, you can make additions. Obviously, you can change the dish, but I don't think it's this or that. Yeah, I mean, you can never please everyone.
Of course.
You can never please everyone. And what's Bukhari now wasn't Bukhari maybe 30 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
So some people are going to be upset, but it's fine.
But when you make those changes, how do you make them? How do you make those decisions? This is really what I want to know. When you are deep in chef mode, you're going to make your version of kebsa. How are you making a decision about the ingredients? Are you worried about authenticity? Or are you worried about your perspective, your personal perspective? Are you worried about the reaction from the consumer or from the guest or from the person who's going to be eating? What is, kind of the method? Is it a mixture of all of those things?
In a sense, but I feel like people take food too seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really funny that you would say it because you're a chef. So we would assume like you're the doctor of food.
No, the thing I love about food, and I've said it before, but the thing about food, it's for everyone. Cooking is for everyone, and eating is for everyone. So it's not that deep. And I always tell, like in my kitchen, I always tell my staff, I'm like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. If someone gets upset over food, we're sorry. We're sorry you don't like it. But it's not that deep. At the end of the day...
We're sorry, but not really.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm sorry. No, not really. But it's not that deep at the end of the day. My main concern when I'm cooking is safety. But flavor, it's subjective. What you like is what I don't.
Yeah, I mean, for being so passionate about something, you have a very practical relationship with
I'm usually
with the
not
subject
very practical. But
so I mean, this is bringing out a lot of things I think about your personality. Like you love this, but you're also not attached to it. You kind of have like this mindful approach to your passion.
I feel like if you here's the thing about creating for other people. People don't. I mean, like take writers for example. When you write a book, not everyone's going to like it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. That's why there are a lot of genres. Same with food. If I make something, 50% of people are going to hate it. That's a problem. But if 20%, it's okay. It's okay. The best restaurant in the world have like 3.9 rating.
Very nice. Very down to earth when they're like, I was expecting like, I sit and then I have this palate and I have to smell coffee first and then I have to, drink water after it. And I was expecting that kind of answer, to be honest, but honestly, you're way more straightforward than that.
Sorry to disappoint.
I'm not. In fact, I am not disappointed. I am just very surprised at how honest you are.
Maybe I shouldn't have.
No, I think people are able to connect to people like you more because the intimidation, the level, the barrier for entry becomes. There's less anxiety now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I'm not completely wowed by whatever you make, it's fine now because you're not that connected or not that attached to it anyway.
Honestly. No, I'm not trying to be like stuck up, but I'm not deeply connected. I'm not concerned with people's opinions. In a sense, I know I listen to them, but it's taxing to listen to everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when we first opened the restaurant, we used to open Google Maps every single day. And it was so exhausting.
Yes.
It was really exhausting. I was like, okay, done. I mean, and I worked at a restaurant. When I was in Canada, I worked at a family restaurant, and I saw how exhausted the chef was, because it was her blood and tears here. It was like, why did someone write this? I was like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to. Yeah, like, imagine like every single project you make, there are like 40 Google reviews on it. It's hard. It's really hard.
I got you. I completely understand how you feel.
So yeah.
And I really am. I have this very huge sense of optimism for your approach. Like, I really believe that something inside of me says Munera has the winning approach.
You should take that approach. It's less mentally taxing and exhausting.
Loving that word, taxing.
Yeah.
Tell me about the differences between the regions in Saudi Arabia when it comes to traditional dishes. Is there like a general theme? For instance, are dishes in the north spicier than dishes in the south? Are the ones in the west more sour than the ones in the east? Are they saltier in the east more than the north? Like, what's the general theme? If you could, like, I'm sure there's always exceptions, and you can't oversimplify, and it's risky to oversimplify. But in general, from your perspective, what's the general thematics that you see going on regionally in Saudi Arabia when it comes to culinary? Like their take on food. Like, for instance, maybe stereotypically we know like the southern part of China likes rice and spice more, and the northern part's into like noodles and beef stock more than the south is.
Yeah.
So do we have something like that in Saudi Arabia, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see, it depends on in the south, you see a lot of rich,
very rich
dishes. Like putting ghee in your mouth.
Yes, yes.
Because
ghee and honey.
Because again, it's the nature speaking through you. Because we're connected to the land. Like, whatever we eat is because the land is telling us to eat it. That the land is giving us. So maybe you can see, I don't know, like something along the lines of, I don't know how I was thinking about it about this question. I feel like in the past 50 years we've changed a lot in Saudi. We've changed so much.
Past 5 years, look how much has changed.
Exactly. But what kept unchanged, what kept like more or so the same, is the food. And I feel like, because it's our connection to the land. So when you say, is it the same? Is it or is it different? Does it have a pattern? I feel like it does. That's why you see in the Western region, you see a lot of different. I mean, I know it's not just geography; it's geopolitical as well, because that's why you see how rich and diverse the Western region. But then you look at you go to the central, and then it's brown. It's all like
tan.
It's tan. It's very. Again, it's very connected to the land. You see more color when you go north or we go south. You see more red when you go to the eastern region.
Yeah, the Hasawi rice.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Even the grouper, the fish, the big fish. Yeah, I mean, I mean, what I've noticed, and I mean, you're the expert. I noticed the western part of Saudi Arabia, as you said, is very international as far as food. I mean, an Indonesian inspired restaurant next to a Central Asian inspired restaurant next to maybe a Chinese inspired restaurant next to Turkish, Lebanese. I mean, there's a huge kind of array of food interest in Jeddah. Plus, I would say Jeddah's very seafood native. Right? Yeah. They like, even in official invites to people's homes, it's not weird to be invited to eat fish, for instance, or you might even eat beef, for instance, in like Jeddah. When you're in Riyadh, no one in a traditional sense, for instance, will invite you to have beef for dinner. It's always either lamb, and for your friends, it could be chicken or camel meat. And then in the eastern side, you go back to seafood again.
Yeah.
And the eastern side is kind of a mix between Jeddah seafood and a lot of the central region.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I understand. That's how I see it. The south is very into wheat-based soft foods.
Yeah.
I mean, half-cooked bread, essentially, doughy substance, and they're all kind of somewhat similar to each other. And the only difference is a little bit of like, is there dates in this dish, or is this going to be like a salty dish? Is this going to be a ghee based, or is this going to be more honey, or is this and so really the ghee and the honey are what's happening in the southern part.
That vast carpet.
Yes.
Yeah.
The north, I noticed a lot more earthiness in the north from my chives. Like even in Qassim, people would drink tea and have chives with their tea. And then you get into like hail, and then they have like the ghee and the onions, that thing that you made for us. They at the restaurant that it was the ghee with the onions and the bread.
البصل.
Yeah, it was delicious. That was delicious. And it reminded me so much of hail. And then like I can see, I mean, you really could taste something inside Arabia and say, I know where this is from.
Yeah, yeah. It tells a story, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It tells a story. I can even hear the accents when I'm eating. And I think this is one thing. Maybe it's because we've been in Saudi Arabia for a very long time, but I can hear the tribal names. I can hear the conversations. I can even like laugh because I was eating this with somebody who was telling me a joke at that time, and I remembered that joke when I was eating that particular dish. And so I think in the beginning, a lot of Saudi restaurants that were trying to serve people food, especially to international people, they went very basic. Margouk and mutaziz and salik. And these are like starchy, heavy dishes, right? I've never heard of a Saudi salad. Salad was just the roca leaves, the rocket leaves.
Yeah.
That was the salad for a very long time in the traditional food scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you kind of showed me Saudi salads that I wasn't like. I never had a salad in Saudi with hilba in it, also a type of herb.
Yeah.
But I tried one of your salads, and there was so many different plants in that salad.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. But traditionally we don't have salads, and again with the land, because how would you make salad here?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. We don't have fresh produce.
The salad we feed to the animals.
Yeah, because it goes bad like this. So we don't have it. But like at Irth, we wanted to create something that was, in a sense, Saudi, but it wasn't.
Because you're feeling a need there. I don't see a culture. You really are feeling a need. The international community is used to some sort of course menu.
Yeah,
soup, salad, and then the main meal. So I don't blame you for having to fill that gap with the salad. But I want to know, how did you choose the ingredients, Munera?
So we wanted to create something that wasn't just a specific region, because Irth Irth as a concept is celebrating all of Saudi. So we wanted to grab ingredients from all over. So we took figs. We took. You told it it's squash, not pumpkin, sorry. So we took squash, and then we also used timman. And again, with sustainability, timman is, because this timman is from our timman dish. But, الحكاكة, what was it called in English?
I think hikaka is the thing that I understand.
The last of the
rice.
Rice.
Like the fried rice on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not going to throw this one away.
Yes.
So we just take it and then bake it again and serve it in the salad.
Yes. Use it as like a spice.
Exactly.
Or as a topping.
Exactly. And then, the dressing was lumi mshammas, which is black lime and
Black lime syrup.
black lime syrup, in a sense, and date molasses.
Okay.
So we wanted to grab something from everywhere and give it to people and say, like, okay,
this is the Saudi salad.
This is
a take on what a Saudi salad would look like had this been a very big salad eating culture.
Yeah.
I completely get it. And so you were talking about sustainability, and you were talking about, incorporating native plants into your dishes. So in Al Ula, we have this farm to table concept where a lot of the restaurants in Al Ula, they're using ingredients from Al Ula to make these dishes. And so I want to know, when it comes to Saudi foods, what kind of ingredients are we looking at if we are using the farm to table methodology, whether it be in Al Ula or anywhere else in the kingdom?
We have so many ingredients. And going back to what you asked me, what ingredients are you working on with lately? I've been obsessing over an idea lately, but it's not an ingredient. It's foraging.
Okay.
I want to learn more
About foraging.
How did people used to forage here? What did they forage? And when did they forage? Where did they forage? I feel like, again, because as I mentioned, in the past 50 years, we were a little bit disconnected from the land, or we become a little bit disconnected. We didn't know all this stuff. I asked a couple of people, but about books and resources, and I read the books and I look at the pictures. I'm like, I don't know. I could be eating something poisonous now.
Yes.
But yeah,
I completely get it. And what people don't know about Saudi Arabia is that Saudi Arabia is home to more than 2,400 different native plant species, and of course, much of it is edible. And I think foraging is an amazing way to get people to realize not only the origins of our natural heritage, but also the cultural heritage.
100%.
And I think people through food are going to engage with nature easier than they are through books or through even social media or films or whatever it might be.
100%.
I really do see food being the main communicator of the value of this, whether it be farm to table, whether it be foraging, whether it be the sustainable consumption model is going to be inspired mostly by food.
Yeah. I mean, I could list like 50 carbs produced from Riyadh or from Qasim or from Hayal, but are they native? I don't mind that they're not native. It's fine. That's the whole, that's the beauty of globalization, that I can produce pumpkin here, even though it's North American.
Yes,
it's fine.
Yes.
But what's native? I want to learn what's native. I want to eat the way my ancestors did. I also want to eat chips, don't get me wrong. But I want to learn how did they eat? What did they eat?
Munera, you bring up such a very, very important point, and a point that's actually very surprisingly an area of my research. And Arabia is very interestingly positioned in the world map. From what I've been reading and researching a lot, is that the Arabs have been trading for a very, very long time. I mean, the Arabs have been trading for maybe 8,000-9,000 years. And they weren't concerned at all about what was native when it comes to food. And I would contend that all food is native to Arabia that was being traded on the Silk Route. Because imagine, you're living in a place that most crops don't survive. There's herbivores everywhere. And there's people eating the herbivores, of course. Those dishes that we eat all the time in Saudi Arabia that are rice-based, of course we weren't growing all the rice here in Saudi Arabia. Yet that didn't stop the Saudis from fully adopting rice as being an integral part of their dishes. And that's a very powerful message. When you talk about a society that's really kind of obsessed about culture, obsessed about their local culture, for them to so readily accept something so foreign as their own.
True. That is
It
so
says a lot, actually, about even their own cultural hospitality. Like, if you could imagine a diwan and all these guys or all these women are sitting in this diwan, they're all Arabs, and then this like bag of rice walks in, and they just let it take a seat on the chest of the majlis. Like, you are now 100% a part of our culinary experience.
Yeah.
And they accepted it. And they call a lot of their dishes their own. And they have internet fights and arguments about what is theirs. And so even though rice isn't, the dishes are.
Yeah.
The recipes are.
Exactly.
And, you know, wheat wasn't domesticated in Central Arabia, but all those wheat-based dishes are ours. And even you see how excited people get and how patriotic they get, how culturally curious they get about their history, about their modern society. And it's all driven by food.
Yeah.
So why do you think that is? Why are people so driven by something that you say is not that deep? But it invokes so much deep.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It invokes so much deep emotion in people. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
When I'm upset, hello, Erika. Hello, Jarish. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hello, blah blah. Like I'm calling the murguk to give me comfort when I'm upset. Why is it that we're so connected to food? Like, oxygen is something that we need as well. Water is something that we need as well. But they're not doing the same things that food does for me. Why is that?
I feel like because, as I mentioned, food connects us to the land in a way that we don't understand. And not just the land, it's also memory. Food is, again, when we first mentioned that food here is generosity, food here is big portions. Food is always...
You're saying big portions like I imagine like an American restaurant portion, but that's like even bigger than that.
Yeah. Like, food here is for sharing.
Yeah.
The concept is, the concept of your own meal is very foreign here.
Very.
Like, I mean, I can't imagine like going to a restaurant where not a restaurant, like a wedding, where they serve set menu. It's an incredibly foreign concept because food is for sharing. Food is, in a sense, food is community, because food is when you sat with your mother. Food is when your brother, I don't know, he was going to study abroad. Food is when your sister was getting married. Food is
the celebration.
Yeah.
And food is even in death.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So food is where we connect. Food is where we sit together. So it's not just food. It is just food, but it's not just food. Food is very, very deep, very emotional and rooted. Like, sometimes people are so attached to food because, as I mentioned, because sometimes it's the only thing that's attaching you to this land or to any land. That's why so many people, this is the last thing they lose from their culture.
Very deep.
So, like, say, I don't know, Japanese people in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They've been here for like 4 or 5 generations, and they still have their Japanese restaurants.
Yeah.
This is the last thing people lose.
They've added Hawaiian elements to the Japanese food, but you're right. They're presenting their food as Japanese.
Because they connected to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. So
there you go.
Yeah. So deep is food. No one loses like their cuisine willingly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now I completely understand. Now I'm so enlightened.
I think I understand too, but I'm not too sure either.
No. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense.
Very interesting.
When I go back to America now, even though, by the way, like, I'd be lying to you if I said I drink Saudi coffee every day. But when I go to America, for some reason, I have to take with me the dates in the Saudi coffee.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're right. It's the way I connect to Saudi Arabia. Even though while I'm in Saudi Arabia, I'm not drinking it every day. Like, it's not something that I'm addicted to.
Yeah.
But you're right. And maybe that's the reason why you connected to Saudi cuisine, like we were talking about in the beginning of the episode. Maybe that was your way of seriously connecting with the land that you're from and that you grew up in, was by transporting with you
Exactly.
your culinary
I
tradition.
could.
So Munera, we get our dishes, our culinary traditions from our elders. And you might have got some from your mother, although you told us that your mother wasn't very insistent in teaching you how to cook.
Yeah.
What is the reaction of the older generations to some of your interpretations of Saudi food?
It's very interesting. I mean,
Tell me more.
as I mentioned, not everyone can like everything.
Of course.
Yeah. So
And old people are generally hard to impress anyway. They've seen a lot. A lot of their expectations haven't been met in life. So they kind of already might have a jaded approach.
yeah, but surprisingly, I think because we lacked Saudi restaurants for a long time. Surprisingly, a lot of the elderly that come to a restaurant are very happy. I mean, and honestly, it fills me. Like when I see their recognition, like whether it's a smile or just a look, or sometimes they just verbally say, I loved the food. I loved this, and that. I mean, it reminded me, an old lady told me that the jarish reminded her of her mother. And that was honestly so nice, so touching. So,
Even though you probably didn't make it like her mother did.
yeah, 100%, because our jarish is vegetarian. So I'm pretty sure her mother did not make it.
Corrupted generation.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm always intrigued by what they have to say, whether it's criticism or like a recognition or a compliment. I'm always so thankful. Honestly, like I'm thankful for their opinion. I mean,
What have some of the nice things you said.
Yeah.
What are some of the criticism you get? Like, do you ever hear something like say, oh, what is this? This isn't real jarish. This isn't real margouk. What kind of madruba is this? Do you know what I'm saying?
to be honest, not the elderly. The elderly are always like, oh, this is not how it should be made. And then they just leave it.
Okay.
It's usually the young people who are like, no, this is not how you make this. I'm like,
because they might have like a point to prove.
Yeah.
Like, I know this culture so well.
Yeah.
I can tell you whether or not this is an authentic taste or not. I mean, we were all young at one time.
Yeah.
But I want to know in general when people, so I'm from Texas. And so even though I'm a vegetarian, if someone came up with a vegan brisket, like inside, I feel like it's a type of heresy, like it's sacrilege. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, this dish is destined for the hellfire. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's no such thing as, even though I'm a vegetarian, I'm saying there's no such thing as vegan beef briskets.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up eating pork either, but baby back ribs are made with, an animal that we don't eat, which is fine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see a vegan version of baby back ribs. I just don't. So going back to food orthodoxy, how do you really manage people's expectations when it comes to the authenticity thing? Do you know what I'm saying? The legitimacy thing, in fact. And so a lot of older people who are trying dishes are like, oh yeah, this is legitimate. This reminds me of mom, my aunties, my grandma. But when you are kind of reinventing, how do you make it relatable yet different?
As odd as it's gonna sound like, but it's the soul. It's, if you feel like the soul is there, it's there. But you'll never be able to recreate something's mom, like the way my mom made it. I could never. But if you're pleased with whatever you ate and you think it spoke to you on any level, I'm fine. But I could never make whatever your mom made. I could never. Like,
my father said always, it tastes like love.
Yeah.
When we ate something that he really enjoyed, he would say, it tastes like love.
Exactly. I mean, and no dish, no two people can make the same dish.
Of course.
Never. I mean, do you have this saying in English, like nafs?
Yes. It's like your taste,
Yeah.
your aspirations, your
I don't know, someone's
your spiritual
soul in the food.
your spiritual touch or your spiritual aspirations.
Yeah. So if you're going to follow or wish for pleasing, like to please everyone in regards to the authenticity of food, you're never going to succeed because it's not there. What's authentic to you is not authentic to me. The way my mom made jirish is not the way your mom made jirish.
Yeah.
So all I can do is follow roughly the Culinary Commission's
recommendations, their guide. So tell me about that, Munera. How do you feel about organizations protecting the identity of food? How does that make you feel? As you're kind of a globalized person.
Yeah.
You're a child of the 90s.
Yeah.
You saw globalization. You had a front row seat to globalization and to all of the events that caused drastic globalization.
True.
How do you feel about people protecting, whether it be the name of the ingredient or the name of a dish? How do you feel about kind of those culture battles that we fight? Do you think that they're worth fighting for? Do you really think that, no, this is something that we really need to do? We need to, preserve, record, archive? Or you're like, I think we should just let it do what it wants to do?
I feel like we should record, archive, and we should preserve. It doesn't have to be like rules and regulations. It doesn't have to be something that we must follow. No, because we can't go forward if we...
Yeah. So it's not like religion.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're saying it's open to interpretation, it's open to change, it's open to...
But should we have archives? Yes.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I agree with like the museum and cultural approach to preserving, but only for the sake of knowing how people used to do it.
Exactly.
But not necessarily for gatekeeping what it should be called.
No. I definitely. I don't think it's beneficial to anyone. It doesn't lead us anywhere, and it doesn't lead the food scene here anywhere. But preserving or archiving the cuisine is what's beneficial, is what's going to give us a point to go back to.
Speaking of going back, let's talk about going forward.
Let's go forward.
What's your vision for the Saudi culinary scene? What do you see? How do you see it?
I'm very optimistic. I mean, as I mentioned, when I went to culinary school, there was not even a culinary commission. So I did not think I could make a career out of it here in Saudi. But to see all these girls and boys and restaurants going into the field, going into especially so not just Saudi cuisine in particular, but the diversity in I'm just going to talk about Riyadh. The diversity in the food scene in Riyadh is crazy now. I've seen some of my friends who live in London, UK. The food scene in London, UK is amazing. They were mind blown when they came here. So I'm very optimistic about the vision and about the talent of Saudi chefs and everything. Honestly, the scene is very, very optimistic. It's very refreshing. I mean, that's why we went to eat out all the time, because there's something new all the time. There's something innovative. There's something delicious.
I love it when my non-Saudi friends call me to ask me where they should try a specific dish. I love that.
See,
I love it. It's like a badge of honor, really.
Honestly,
it is an honor.
It is. As someone from Riyadh, when people who moved here, they were like, "Where should I eat?" I'm like,
let me
tell you.
I love it.
Yeah.
It gives me an amazing feeling. But I also want to know, Munera, for you, the where do you think there'll be a in the future we could imagine like a Saudi fast food restaurant that's globally like where people know that it's based in Saudi or made in Saudi and inspired by Saudi ingredients. Like essentially, do you ever imagine that there'll be like a Saudi version of McDonald's? I don't mean burgers and fries. I mean like the concept where you walk into this restaurant that has a global name and everybody knows what it's called. Everybody knows what it's served. Is there a future for that in Saudi food? Or do you think Saudi food is, it's way more official. There's like way higher level of legitimacy to this. There's a ceremony, there's a ritual that's attached to this. Where do you see the global image of Saudi food going?
I feel like, as I mentioned before, the beauty of food is it's for everyone. So again, no, I see people having like drive-through kebsa. Why not? I mean, they should. Kebsa should. Like, Saudi shawarma?
Yes.
Should be global.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shawarma's already pretty global.
It is, but the
Saudi version of shawarma?
Saudi version of it?
Yeah, it still needs some time.
I'm sorry, but it's superior.
It's I think it is going up there. And there's a lot of specific names that are making a big name in shawarma in Saudi Arabia, and they're reaching global audiences. But I want to know, I always imagine, to be honest, like if my wife says to me, I'm hungry for Saudi food, I always feel like there's a ritual that we have to get ready, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to eat this out of a bag, for sure. No, you got to bring out the sufra. You got to, bring the leban, the yogurt drink. You got to bring out the yogurt. I mean, we're not having cutlery, of course. That's sacrilege. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the things that are going to be complementary to this, it's not something from my perspective, in my lifestyle, this Saudi food's not going to be eaten as we're driving, as we're going somewhere, in between meetings. Yeah. It's not a sandwich.
It's not.
For me, there's a ceremony. Like, we are going to have coffee first, even if it's just me and my wife. We're going to have the coffee first. And not only are we going to have the coffee first, we're going to make sure that, whatever is going to be served, it's like, it's not a mix and match, it's not a zombie meal. Like, we're either having a Riyadh meal or we're having an Abha meal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not having this blanket Saudi meal, that's for sure. And I'm like, this coffee is not that Southern coffee that I'm used to. Why are we having Arika with this Riyadh coffee? Or why are we having Margouk with your Southern coffee? Like, that for me, if I was a target audience for this globalized Saudi vision for, Saudi food, I feel like my relationship to Saudi food would be a barrier for it to be so accessible to everybody. Because for me, it's like there's a whole aura around it. And like my body type and the way I look today is ample evidence how seriously I take this. Do you know what I'm saying? No, for me, this Saudi food has to be served. When it comes to food orthodoxy, food presentation, it must be served the Saudi way. We're not going to eat this with plastic fork and knives. We're not going to eat it while we're driving. We're not going to. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. But you could, like...
Maybe I take it too seriously, even though I'm not a chef like you.
I feel like you did not grow up with seeing a Bukhari in a bag.
I mean, I did. I didn't grow up.
Yeah,
I came here when I was 22 years old. I've seen it. I've seen it, but then I have my internal excuse for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's for me, that particular dish relates to a lot of different people living in Saudi Arabia, a lot of different social classes. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not really necessarily talking about that specific dish, but think about eating like kebsa. Are you going to eat kebsa out of a bag? Are you going to eat margouk out of a bag? Are you going to eat, arika out of a bag? Even if it comes in that aluminum, container, I'm not going to eat it out of that.
But you didn't eat Chinese out of a bag. You ordered Chinese.
But my relationship to Chinese food is different. There's no ceremony around. I didn't grow up in I didn't live with people who ceremoniously presented to me green tea and Chinese food. So what about people like me, Munera? I'm in a trap. How are we going to solve my problem?
You can go to Asib whenever you want the ceremony. What? Other than that.
And I mean, like, people aren't going to like the analogy, but food is like a philosophy in a lot of ways. Like the way you see it is like the way you see a lot of philosophical, religious things in your life. And so I would love to see Saudi food globalized really with people like you who have a very practical relationship to it. If it was people like me, it'd be way too costly, way too expensive.
But that's the beauty. We need both. I mean, that's something we're fighting for, not just Saudi cuisine. A lot of cuisines around the world that are not Western. We're fighting for recognition as fine dining. So we want both. We want fast food Saudi and fine dining Saudi because it can be both.
It can be both.
Yeah.
But for me, I know intellectually you're right. It should be able to be both. It's irrational to think that it couldn't be both. But my emotions say that's
true. I mean,
it's not even a part of the question. If it is Saudi, it needs to be done the Saudi way, the traditional Saudi way.
So we shouldn't size down the portions.
No. Look, I'm not saying to you. I'm not saying to you like I should be. I should be giving you opinions about the direction that this goes in. But I'm just saying to you, I, as a consumer of Saudi food, a very avid consumer of Saudi food, I could never respect it if I saw it coming out of a box, a paper box. I couldn't, or plastic bags. I mean, it's just I could only respect it on that metal plates. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With all of the, all the drinks messily arranged around it, and that's the only way.
We can have problems sizing down then.
I know. And the 4 or 5 noodles that they put on top. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we never know why, but it's there.
But what is it without it? It's not Saudi anymore. So yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation with you.
Did too. Thank you so much,
Munera. And I mean, I was really able to go through all of my, my relationship with food with you. So I feel like I'm talking not only to a food expert, but a food therapist. And you've been delightful. Thank you so much for your time. And can't wait to have you on the show again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And inshallah, next time I'm gonna bring the swag drink.
Please.
You're
gonna bring it to the radio. Yeah, bring it to the radio.
Inshallah.
Bring it to the radio. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Munera Al Hodaif, one of the upcoming, very famous Saudi chefs. And we know she's going to do a lot of great things for the Saudi culinary scene. Thank you so much, Munera, for being our guest. And we can't wait to come to Irth, which is operated by the Saudi Arabian Ministry of Culture.
Yeah.
And try your take on Saudi food there.
Al Ala FM. The sound of Arabia.